Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining. I'm a little late joining this live. I'm just going to adjust my mic a little bit, mostly because, being mad at your hair is a different type of mad. I don't care what anybody says. It is a very different type of angry. And I was that type of angry for the last 30 minutes. Okay. Cute. I tried one of those heatless curl things and it was great until you're like, "Oh, I'm actually gonna need to try and style my hair." It didn't work out so well. So I look kind of reminiscent, of Lala from whatever the season was when wasn't it Sheena's engagement party and Lala had like the little Shih Tzu Pomeranian looking hairstyle. So yeah, that's me today. Also, I don't know, like if you're not seeing the video, I am wearing basically a parody or a dupe of Sutton's cat sweater. So I sort of feel like I should have started this podcast with a line like, "Hey, all you cool cats and kittens out there." I'm not Carol Baskin though. So we are going to jump into some Bravo stuff. What else would we be jumping into, right? Okay, so let's just get started here. First, be sure and go check out my friend Alex Cross's podcast. I joined her this week. Her podcast is called Reality Informant, or The Reality Informant, I should say. And I had a lot of fun talking, what else but Scandival with her. Because do we have anything else to talk about at this moment? We do. I know y'all are probably getting a little tired of all the Vanderpump Rules, which is another small amount announcement I have, which is that I am going to have my friend Terrence joining me again this weekend from London. He also has his podcast, Bravo Chronicles, so be sure and check him out. But we are going to be chatting Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, which I am sad, so sad and slightly like triggered by because I was invited to go to this awesome looking event that was in New York City and it was just so last minute and y'all know I'm a toddler mom and it just couldn't make it work. I was very close to making it work though. Next one, please. Please, Paige, remember to invite me next one. Not the Paige you think, but anyway, here we go. So we'll start with a fun gossip, okay? First of all, the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion is taping today. That is today on 420. I really hope Jen Aiden is celebrating that because, yeah, that would be a day for her to enjoy that. And another part of New Jersey news is Albie Manzo's engaged. One of the few men that has ever been on Bravo that was not already married that is not a garbage human. So that is wonderful. You want to see these people happy. Yeah, I heard that from of a friend of a friend who is his friend. Okay, we get it. Uh, I know y'all have not been living under a rock, so you do know that this whole thing where Rachel Leviss checked into now the words were checked into a mental health care facility. And this was last week, right? I believe this happened, I don't know, like right I before my last recording, and I mentioned that, which I had already seen it coming, and I had said that a week before. Well, it turned out that it was allegedly not an actual mental health facility. We're not talking Girl Interrupted here. We're not One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Some old references, but you get it. Okay. It seems that it may have allegedly actually been Miraval Resort, where, if you all recall, that's where Kelly Dodd bonked Shannon Bedore on the head when she had that weird bowl on her head. Oh, hi, Eddie. Thank you so much for joining. One of my fellow besties. And if y'all haven't been listening to Martinis with Eddie, you have to go check out his podcast. He's fantastic. And he's going to be my BravoCon buddy. He was also my buddy in Charleston. So, and if you we're the ones that are not watching this and are just hearing the audio, I'm live on YouTube. I finally got it to work and posted about it for once, because previously I'd put the wrong link up, which was real cute. So tech savvy of me. But yeah, Eddie and we're in a group chat that we're so ready to go to BravoCon. We literally booked our hotel rooms like 2 weeks before the announcement. It's been such a yeah, it's a lot. we're thinking it's probably going to be announced maybe in the next month or so when the tickets are actually going to go on sale, which, hey, save your coins, friends. Save your coins because it's not going to be cheap, but well worth it. Because another part of the news, Erica Jane is going to be having a residency there in Las Vegas, and it's going to be during BravoCon when it first starts. So that is actually going to be, I mean, I know we've all had our mixed feelings about Erica, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, but listen, I still I like to jam out too. It's expensive to be me. I know it's all kinda a little fucked up, but, I listen, I would rather go see Erica Jane than, Tom Sandoval and the Most Extras. So, yeah, she can take my money before he can because I think she will be more entertaining. That may be controversial of me to say, but hey, what what are you here for but some actual opinions? So, now we're gonna go into the Miraval of it all, right? So, again, Miraval, that's where the Housewives of Orange County went one year, and, Shannon thought she got that concussion from Kelly Dodd, who was a garbage human, bonking her on the head when she had that bowl on her head. That was all so bizarre, but anyhow, that's allegedly the one in Arizona where Rachel may have or may not have checked in. Well, the rumor was, and Coachella weekend one was this last weekend. The rumor was that Tom Sandoval was going to be joining her at Miraval, right? Well, Miraval, their social media page, oh my dear God, y'all, they posted a photo of their bar because, again, you guys, this is not a rehab facility. It is a holistic, it's a resort with holistic wellness spa type of thing and meditation, things like that. Okay, sounds like a good time. Well, they took a picture of their bar and put the lyrics of, well, the Raise Your Glasses High, which is the intro song and has always been the intro song for Vanderpump Rules. And so the insinuation was to me, and most everyone at that time, that it was about Rachel checking in to their facility, allegedly. Well, gosh, what day was this? Maybe Sunday? Sunday or Monday? Monday. Tom Sandoval, because he's such a freaking narcissist. I mean, listen to this that he posted to his story. Dude, I'm not going to read it in his voice the whole time. I'm beyond disappointed at Miraval Resorts at Miraval, Arizona. That was a tongue twister for me. And their decision to post to their Instagram account this past weekend, alluding to me staying there this week. Honey, it wasn't you they were actually alluding to staying there, but okay, cool. They claim to be a refuge for wellness and betterment, but that is obviously false. They'd rather feed into the negativity and spectacle that has engulfed my life. Yes, Tom Sandoval, it's all about you and only you, of course. Only your life. In a continuous effort to be healthy and work on myself, I planned a trip to go there completely alone. Bullshit. To try and find some peace. Miraval clearly isn't the place for that. Special shout out to the general manager who refuses to take any responsibility for the actions of his team, even though he considered the post, quote unquote, in poor taste. Regardless of where you all stand in this, we all deserve a chance to work to be better. Yes, that last statement, absolutely true. I do believe that. The rest of it, you are. It's just, really, Sandoval? Really? Come on. This is not all about you, sir, but everything in your life is only about you and only you. That's just how you operate. Well, okay, then Sheena's wedding dress designers were on Jeff Lewis's podcast, okay? And they said that they saw Rachel and Sandoval kissing at Sheena's wedding. And they said they were kind of like off in a lobby off to the side. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. Um yeah. And speaking of again, Coachella, so over the weekend, there was a photo that was going around of Ariana and I'm sure y'all remember Dana. Now, both of these women are gorgeous blondes and both of them happen to be bisexual. And Dana posted and they're very good friends. Let me preface that as well. Dana posted a photo of the two of them locking lips. It wasn't like a makeout picture, but listen, I loved it. I would stand that tight. Oh my God, I would stand that relationship so much. But I think they're just very good friends and they were just being silly and fun. But I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. And going on to the next hot topic here, which I would have liked to see Ariana. maybe in her next relationship, go with a female because especially from what she's told us about the men she's dated in the past, I would like to see her be with a woman who treats her well, just to give it a chance. But maybe that's just not really, her sexuality isn't defined by just this or that. So I get it, but would have liked to see that. But what I am liking is that she looks like she is having a wonderful time with this new guy and, he happens to live in New York City, and he also just so happened to be at that wedding she went to in Mexico. Now, her date to that wedding in Mexico, that was literally within a week of scandal breaking, that person was just a friend. But it seems like it's quite possible that maybe she met this new guy there at the wedding, which, hey, I'm down with that. That could be very cool. Um, they were seen holding hands and kissing and all of that at Coachella, and also when she was dropping him off at the airport, I mean, listen, if you live in anywhere really, but especially if you and knowing where Ariana lives, if she lives in Valley Village. If I'm not sure which airport, my guess is that it was LAX, but if it was Burbank, it's not the trek that it would be for most people going to the airport. But if anyone drives you to the airport, that means a lot. Number 1. Number 2, if she was dropping him off at LAX, let me tell y'all, going from Valley Village to LAX, that round trip is going to be 2 hours at least. Truth. And so there was a photo of them kissing at LAX when she was dropping him off, which I'm like, okay, all right, girl, get it. Excuse me. This is also my new hyperfixation Starbucks drink. It's their peach juice, green tea, lemonade. Oh my god, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. I'm like, when I say hyperfixated, I mean it literally. So, something else that happened during Coachella weekend. Billy Lee. How is it that we are dealing with her again? Um, there were times that I did kind of feel actually bad for her on the show. When she was the only girl left out of girls' night, and I understood that. And I did feel for her in that moment, even though she's not really as a person the greatest person. That still felt I felt bad for her. But, don't give a shit how she's feeling right now because she was seen out and about town with Tom Sandoval. Not only that, but she was seen leaving Tom Sandoval and Ariana's home the next morning wearing the same thing she had been wearing the night before and carrying her dog. So, my thought is, well, she clearly had been intending to stay the night if she brought her dog with her. Weird that you wouldn't bring a change of clothes, but I'm kinda split on that. Now, the thing is here, I don't know if y'all remember this, but one of the reasons Billy Lee claims she left Vanderpump Rules, and I meant to check the year, I believe it was 2019 that she left, was because there happened to be a quote unquote like terrible rumor going around that she and Tom Sandoval were hooking up and sleeping together. Yes, you heard me. You can find this article story on Reality Blurb. Google it. Uh-huh. And, so a friend, her account is at cc.loves.u. She had posted about it, and Kristen Doty goes into the comment section, and she's like, "Great." And you know what? Billy Lee was there at Ariana's crying with her and everybody else right after Scandal broke, and now she's hanging out with him. Well, then Billy Lee jumps back in to to go back at Kristen, and she's like, I can love both people and be devastated and heartbroken by the entire situation. I'm not a performative friend, says Kristen is a performative friend. Now, yes, Kristen has been doing the podcast circuit. She has claimed that Ariana wanted her to do it for her because Ariana isn't going to be doing that. Ariana's made it very clear she's not publicly speaking on it. And I think that is the most incredibly wise thing she could be doing because she's just shining like a star throughout all of it, period. The people who keep talking aren't looking as great, and that's can you really disagree? So, yeah, that whole thing is funny because also it looks like Ariana blocked Billy Lee, so they're not even following each other. Wonder who she considers a real friend and who she doesn't because she and Kristen are still following each other. And I know this sounds so silly and petty, but y'all, this is the year we live in. This is what life is like. If you unfollow someone, that is a statement, especially if you are a public figure. Sorry, that's just a fact. That love it or hate it, that's the way it goes. Okay. So, the next thing I'm just gonna tell you before I jump into this episode, I am selling merch on my website. I've designed some stuff. I really am enjoying it. I'm going to start trying to remember to wear it on here, and I have some friends I'm sending stuff to. So, be on the lookout for that. But I'm going to have the code because originally I was sharing a code for 15% off, but I am going to share the code BESTIES 20, besties 20. Go on the website and use that code, and you will get 20% off of your purchase. And that's going to be for the next 30 days. Okay. So 30 days from now, today's the 20th. I don't know what that date's going to be. Just 30 days. All right. I'm just go enjoy it. There's tumblers, there's hoodies, there's t-shirts, there's all sorts of unique stuff. Okay. There. I did my shill. Let's jump into the episode and I'm going to you can tell that I'm on the caffeine right now. So bear with me. I'm telling you. Try the peach green tea lemonade. It is addicting and I just have a problem. Okay. So here we go. The episode. I love how it opened with Allie. It opened with a few people. Let me preface that. Where Allie and James are at their shared apartment because remember they live together. Um, so anyhow, sorry, my notes are just like crawling all over the page for me. Anyway, here we go. So Allie and James are just kind of talking about, oh, do you think that Rachel and well, they were saying Raquel at that time, that Raquel and Tom Schwartz are gonna, basically end up dating, all of that. And Allie's like, I don't think so because Schwartz is 40 and wears PJs out, so I don't really see that happening. Which cracked me up. Loved this scene. No notes on this because Katie goes to pick up their dogs, Gordo and Butterboy. I'm sorry, I do love the name Butterboy for a dog. That's hilarious. At Schwartz's apartment because they're sharing custody. And Schwartz is just, like, oh, Bubba, the whole kitchen staff, like we lost them, and I'm just so stressed out. And he's expecting this emotional support from her, and she just goes, "That sounds awful. Okay, bye." Listen, y'all, Katie really said, "Not my monkeys, not my circus. Goodbye. Thank you so much." And then he immediately calls Tom Sandoval to start bitching about Katie not giving a shit and just not wanting to emotionally support him when he has professed his intense feelings about how he is single now and who cares and da da da. Da. Okay, well, then he was saying that also Schwartz was saying to Sandoval, I'm sorry, I should preface because we are dealing with two people with the same name. It's just saying to Sandoval, who is in the middle of filming Confessional and picks up the phone. We love a good fourth wall break. But he's saying, man, it's just like because she cares about the Raquel kiss and blah, blah, blah. Then Schwartz says in his own confessional that Katie seems to care more about this kiss with Raquel than about the times he actually cheated on her. I mean, this man, I mean, somebody help me out here. This man is like, what? He just he doesn't hear what he's saying out loud, I think. That must be it. Must be it. So then we see Charlie and Rachel are at the park pretending to take some photos for content. I don't know, maybe she actually was. And you know what? This makes me really like Charlie because Charlie's like, so Katie invited me to brunch and she told me something that I'm not too happy about with you, Rocky. She said that Katie told her how Rachel made out with Schwartz at the wedding and how people were cheering and it just is shitty, right? Well, then I mean, she straight up is like that was distasteful, Raquel. And Raquel's like, "But they're not together." And she's like, "That was their wedding anniversary weekend." And Rachel, of course, But I'm not thinking about that. And this is what Charlie the point she makes, which is, yes, there is a respect you have for a 12-year relationship, okay? Why this little tiny group? I'm not understanding, Rachel, why you couldn't find anyone else and why Schwartz couldn't find anyone else. Surely there were plenty of beautiful ladies at this wedding that were not Rachel. It's because, well, they want to just hurt Katie. They don't like her, they want to hurt her. And so and it becomes more apparent as it goes on that, quite frankly, it was more of a stunt, as we now know, because, hey, scandal. So then we go ahead and hop on over to Sandoval and Schwartz at Schwartz and Sandy's. Y'all, I am also pretty tired of this restaurant. I'm not gonna lie. It is I mean, shit or get off the pot. Not to sound all country on you, but yeah. Anyhow, so I guess their general manager, Brett, is telling them that their quote unquote booth guy. Yeah. I was like, did I write that down incorrectly? No, it was. Their booth guy quit because the machine, they were cutting everything for it, and then the machine broke. And the guy was like, you know what, fuck this. I quit. I can't work with these people anymore, which that's pretty bad. I mean, seriously. And then Sandoval's like, "Well, dude, did you tell him we'd just go ahead and pay him more money?" And Brett's like, "Absolutely fucking not. We don't have any more money." Okay, listen, Tom Sandoval, as we know, even more so now, talks out of both sides of his mouth, right? And then we get to the point where their general manager says he is going to be firing their kitchen manager because he literally couldn't make anything at all. And I'm like, okay, well, wasn't he the person who was making your tasting? And like at the tasting, y'all said everything was pretty much great. Well, they freak out and are and Sandoval starts arguing with Brett because let's see, Sandoval is at about a Mach 10 because he is so like out of his mind from knowing he is fucking up behind the scenes so badly. Okay. That is why we are seeing him spiral around with everybody. Now, this part, when Tom says that they don't have to be at an A plus to open. Basically, a B plus. That'd be great. You know, performers are stoked to be performing at a B plus. You know, like no one even tries to go for an A plus. No, see, Tom, this is the difference. Is the type of quote unquote performer you are, sir, you are excited to be performing at a B plus because you are a C minus at best. Okay. That is no, you don't see Beyonce performing at a B plus. You don't see, I mean, Lady Gaga at a B plus. You don't see Taylor Swift at a B plus. How many more examples should I give you? You notice it's all women. Interesting. Who are in the world? Girls. All right. Anyway, and then, Sandoval starts freaking out about, dude, we are $1 million in. I could lose my house. My mom's retirement money, which, oh my God, the punch in the stomach. Did y'all not feel that? I felt it. And I was like, good God, you asshole. Your mother's retirement into a restaurant? No, no. I no. I cannot fathom being that obtuse to think it was a wise idea to invest your mother's retirement. What is it with these Bravo people who are the biggest pieces of shit doing this? Jen Shaw. There you go, Sandoval. You have now entered Jen Shaw territory. Just, yeah, it's happened. Okay. So, this scene where Katie goes over to Sandoval and Ariana's, I found it, well, quite, should I say, uh, interesting because of Sandoval's reaction, I'm going to say, to the girls opening up their sandwich shop. Now, before he actually goes on to explain in his confessional what his feelings are, as soon as she walked in and he was just kind of like, "Yeah, that's great." I said it out loud. I go, "He is jealous as hell. He is just the narcissist in him is like pulsating. Okay. And so in confessional, he goes, dude, like I'm happy for them. I'm jealous, because the rent's low. It's a small contained space. It's easy. They don't have partners. What? Don't have partners? Well, they are partners and they most likely have partners, investors, you nitwit. I'm excited. I'm jealous in a good way. I'm envious. And so he's putting down in this statement while admitting that he's jealous of how they're doing it and how well they're doing it. And he's jealous calling it easy because they went about it in a completely, well, in a much wiser way than he and Schwartz did because they are doing it pretty much more the right way in a more responsible way. That is why you were jealous because they are smarter than you. Period. They are not only smarter, they are wiser. Two different things. Now, and then he was like saying back and forth with Katie at this point about the kiss with Raquel. Okay. God, are y'all, I know y'all are all just like studying every little twitch of the muscle system in his face whenever the name Raquel is brought up. I know you're doing it too. It's like you were just scanning it all, even down to his white fingernails, which thank you for ruining white nail polish for everybody. Tom Sandoval, ruin everything. Um, so, you know, the thing is, yes, I am very it's very apparent, I should say, how I feel about the kiss between Raquel and Schwartz in Mexico. I think it was wrong. Katie asked something simple. It was literally for him to not make out with literally I went through this number already. The only other single person he could have, single female, I should say, in the group made out with would have been Lala, and that sure as shit wasn't going to happen. So it's like it was only one person essentially. She asked him not to. Just one person. Same with Raquel. You idiots. And so Tom Sandoval is saying to Katie, I don't really think it was like a big deal. It was two single people who were decent looking who, like made out in Mexico. And now here's the part, I'm team Katie almost to a fault. This I did not like because I don't believe in this word. Katie calls Raquel a fucking whore. I don't like that because I don't think there is such thing. There are sex workers, and then that's it. Okay. So I don't believe that there is such thing as a slut. I don't think there's such thing as a whore because it is so subjective to what your own definition of it is. So it's not a real thing. Okay. Let's just stop doing that because it makes it okay. Just like, I mean, it's like what they said, in Mean Girls, it's stupid, but like, it just makes it okay for guys to call us that because there's no good word for a man that you would want to shame for his sexual escapades. Okay. That's it. Period. Because then also, Tom and Ariana both stand up for Rachel saying she's not a whore, da, 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 because I don't, And Katie's like, I've been respectful about my comings and goings with men. And Sandoval goes, you've been respectful for the most part. And when I tell you that I said at the exact same time Katie did, for the most part, okay, so this is another thing, Katie, girl, if you were leaving Joe messages, this girl that used to be Kristen Doty's crazy friend, which that is pretty hilarious. Like, yes, if you are Kristen Doty's known as Kristen Doty's crazy friend, yeah, that's pretty intense. You are probably crazy as fuck. So, and Kristen's not even friends with her anymore. Um, Anyway, so um apparently Katie was leaving her messages and that's I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm like I would be above that, but I'm like if someone that I was supposedly somewhat like a more than acquaintances but not like friends with who had enough audacity and confidence to text me when they found out that I was getting a divorce, I love you, I respect you, I'm here for you, then to go move in with my soon to be ex-husband, I'd be like the the fuck? You what? Huh? What's wrong with you? So, fair. But then Katie says this. Mhm. She says, and she's pertaining this to Schwartz, okay? Because they've been the 3 of them are kinda going back and forth, the 2 girls against Tom mostly, that yes, they had a deal, they had an understanding that he was not going to hook up with anyone in this stupid friend group. And so it's this back and forth. And Katie says, if you wanna go around fucking your friends, that's fine. Then you don't get my friendship. And if you can't understand that, may God have mercy on your soul and pray that never happens to you." Because who at that moment is fucking a friend? Sandoval. Mhm. Yeah, friends. Okay, so we're at, well, see you next Tuesday, which y'all know. I, of course, put the abbreviation of it. Why wouldn't I? On my notes, I mean. All right, so Lisa is talking to the Toms about, again, Rachel and Schwartz making out. I really hope we don't have to hear about this make out for many more episodes, okay? Because it's like we all know the truth now, all right? And Lisa goes up to the boys and she's like, "What are you doing here?" Basically, like, "Oh, what? You never come to Sir and see you next Tuesday night." And as soon as she asks that, that's when Rachel walks up. So clearly, we all know it was about her. And eventually, Rachel goes and sits between the 2 Toms, and Sandoval is looking at her in the most gross, creepy way. Y'all, it gave me the biggest ick. Okay? The biggest ick. Ugh. And Lisa notices it because it's gross. And she's like, "Why, why do you look like you like it so much? I mean, look at that smile." And Tom Sandoval sticks his tongue out at her, like, so fucking gross. God. And Sandoval tells Rachel that Katie called her an effing whore. Are you kidding me? First, like, let's put aside what we know. Why on earth would you tell her that? I mean, sometimes it's really fun when you're watching the episode and you say certain things out loud and then there's like an echo in the room because suddenly Lisa eventually goes, "Why would you tell her that?" Because why? And here's the thing though. Rachel in confessional is crying. And she says she's always trying to be a better version of herself and that she's always trying to be liked by other people. And, the people either charge your battery or they drain it. And I just can't be around people like that anymore. Deep breaths. Okay. So after Lisa says Rachel has to get up and go attend to her tables, after she says that she's upset that told her that Katie called her that, Sandoval calls her back over immediately. And he puts his hand on Rachel's shoulder and she immediately puts her hand like low on his waist. And it was almost like a oh shit moment. I'm overanalyzing it. I know. I know. But then Tom goes in his confessional, Sandoval says, "Man, Rachel doesn't have a bad bone in her body, but she's had one bad bone in her body at this point." But Lala's apartment when the girls come over. Oh God, yeah, Katie's matching Lala's ottoman. It's a very cute ottoman and a very cute dress. I'm not knocking either. It just oh shit. Uh, And yeah, just basically, Lala is excited for her birthday because it's her first one that she's been single in a very, very long time. And she's inviting literally everyone except for Rachel, Schwartz, and Charlie. And Katie mentions this boy she's going to bring. And she's like, his name is Satchel. And at first, when I tell you, I keeled over dying laughing. But then she said he was named after Satchel Paige, who was a black baseball player. I was like, okay, this is a little bit better. But yeah. Then we go to LVPs. The Toms show up. And when I tell you that the Toms showed up to Lisa Vanderpump's home looking like 2 different versions of Ashton Kutcher, as in Tom Sandoval shows up looking like Kelso from that 70s show, and Tom Schwartz shows up looking like he's about to jump out after pulling a prank saying, "You've been punked, dude." I know that was more of a Sandoval impression, but you get the picture. It is Ashton Kutcher punked and Ashton Kutcher from that 70s show. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Um, So it's very sad that Lisa's miniature pony, Rose, died, and she's very sad about that. Now she says, oh God, this is probably going to be, she says that that she's always been healthy, this 6-year-old pony, and she just was lying down. And so Ken put her in the back of his car and she died before they got to the vet, it is very sad. But it's also, well, it probably took Ken 3 hours to get that pony in the Ken put her in the back of the car? I mean, I'm not I couldn't have put the pony in the back of the car by myself. I don't know. Ken and I both would have had to be laying down with the pony at that point if I had to try and take the pony out to the car. I mean, she's miniature, but she's still a pony. Mhm. So then they're telling Lisa because she's like, "Oh, I'm very anxious about your opening, and when is, the usual." And so they tell her that Brett and Greg fired their chef and they lost their entire kitchen staff because of it. And then Schwartz is saying their freezer may not even be ready by the time they need it to open, which is going to be that Wednesday, but that's not happening. So Sandoval's like, just buy another one. Dude, I'm tired of the nickel and diming. Let's just fucking open. And then, oh my God, you guys. Schwartz, for the first time ever that I can recall, I ever that I see in my mind's eye can remember, he stands up to Sandoval and calls him out. This was, and this is what he says. That's all you do is you huff and you puff and that's it. And you don't back it up with your actions and your effort. And Lisa's over there. Well, that's a big accusation to say he's not putting in the effort. And so Schwartz backs down some, of course, for like a second. And he's like, sometimes he doesn't show the effort. And Sandoval's like, sometimes, dude, fuck off. And so then Schwartz says this, and oh my God. The day they had to submit the menu, you went to band practice in the daytime. You got your fucking nails done and you weighed in at like 12:30 in the morning when I'm about to pass out. Oh my fucking God. Tom Sandoval had to go get his nails done and go to his band practice before helping to submit the fucking menu. Wow. I, d- I, ex- no, no, no. Because the next thing that he says, y'all, I wish that I had come up with this line myself because it was just I can't believe Sandoval had the audacity to even say this on camera. So he goes, first of all, that band practice was scheduled weeks in advance. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the band practice you make no money off of that you were depleting and bleeding funds toward? Okay, sure. Because you were so worried about the $1 million you were in at this restaurant, bar, lounge thing that you have your mother's motherfucking retirement money in. Okay, so what's more important? Because then after that, he says, and I'm not about to walk around town with some grubby ass chip nails. You pay money for your nails to look like that? All right. Yeah, I mean, okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. There are okay. They keep they keep arguing. I can't. Can you imagine going into your nail salon? You're like, hey, I need to get a gel manicure. Tom Sandoval is sitting there on a bi-weekly basis getting these white nails done. And it's like, I swear to God, the way they look, I am so sorry to his nail artist, but I thought he was painting them himself. Okay. And sir, have you not heard of gel? Dip powder, anything? Oh my God. Just okay. I'm getting a little hysterical. Oh, the caffeine's getting to me. Okay. Oh Lord, help me. So, all right, we're done there. They keep arguing, and Sandoval storms out because he's a drama queen. So, at Tom and Ariana's house, they're talking about how Tom is going to go on this like detox cleanse to be healthy, and apparently they're going to fertilize the eggs that Ariana harvested, which she got 26. That's pretty incredible. She's fertile myrtle. Man, y'all, I need to freeze my eggs, but do you know how expensive that is? It's like easy 10 grand, and then you have to pay the rent on your own eggs every month. That's true. Um, hmm, we'll get there. The way Tom talks about quote, unquote, fertilizing her eggs, or how about let's giving your sample and, you know, creating the embryos, what have you. He says in confessional, why would I fertilize these eggs until she decides what she wants to do with them? Yeah, it takes if you're gung ho and you're go, you still need the other person to say yes. Do we need to go over consent on things that consent works in a lot of ways, not just sexual relations. Even though this is quite in line with that. And he just seems like he's picking fights with her literally just to make himself seem like the victim. And, really he's trying to make it seem like she talks down to him, which it would be very hard not to talk down to Tom Sandoval, so I'm not gonna say she doesn't at all, but, he's saying, "Feel like you think I'm stupid," and, it's mainly that he is threatened by how incredibly intelligent Ariana is, and so that makes him uncomfortable, and he wants her to dumb herself down for him. We see that, right? He's uncomfortable with how smart and how, you know, witty she is, and it just freaks him out enough that he just wants her to make herself a little smaller. And, by the way, Tom, the contour that you had on, you need to blend it. Maybe try some underpainting, okay? Listen, you can I'm not a makeup expert, but give it a shot because it's not supposed to look that obvious. And you, of all people, do not need to contour your cheeks, Tom, because it really makes you look unwell. So we get Queen Garcelle on our screens. I love Garcelle. Who doesn't? And if you don't, fuck off because I love her so much. Then, like I said, we get Garcelle and Oliver meeting Lisa Vanderpump at Pump. Now, here's the thing. They definitely got some like PAs to sit at the tables right around them to basically be extras because I'm just saying that didn't exactly look insanely busy, but okay. Not thriving. Garcelle says to Lisa after she's like, "What would you like to drink?" And she says, "Your rosé beats everybody's rosé, Lisa." And Lisa says, "You're right. My rosé is better than any rosé that your friends might try to create. I might have tried to do something more innovative, a little different." Making fun of Lisa Rinna's rosé, which make fun of it all you want, girls. And they talk about how Oliver is separated from his wife and that, she's a great mother and that he respects her and just all of that. Not really a big conversation, but I think it was just setting us up to be aware that, look, it is in fact true that Oliver is separated from his wife to the point where he's sitting in front of cameras to talk about his separation from his wife with his own mother and Lisa Vanderpump, who is also his boss. That's where this gets a little confusing. And then y'all, we find out as everyone's getting ready for Lala's birthday party that night, Allie tells us in confessional that she told the girls as they were leaving Lala's apartment the other day that she saw Sandoval and Rachel dancing together at the Abbey, which the Abbey is literally like, I'm going to say 30, 40 yards max from Sir, if I'm remembering. It's been a year since I've been right there, but from my recollection, it's not even a football field length. It's about half that. And so she sees them at the Abbey dancing at 1 a.m. after See You Next Tuesday. And she's like, then I was going, well, where's Ariana? Because listen, if my man's out dancing with a young single female by themselves at 1 a.m., that's weird. That's real weird. So then we go to Lala's apartment and it's her birthday and Christina Kelly shows up and they're just kind of discussing how Oliver's wife Sam messaged Lala after she saw the photo that was posted of all the girls in Vegas and the way I guess Rachel was leaning into Oliver, it gave her a feeling in her gut. Well, we all know what that's like. And this is we get to where are we at now? Rachel's apartment when Sheena and Brock show up. And Rachel says, "Oh my god, you guys, I just went on Instagram and I looked at my DMs and it was actually," and she posted this at cc.loves.u, who messaged her and was like, "Did you know that Sam, Oliver's wife, is saying that they were not separated and that he's been cheating on her?" And I guess eventually Sam contacted Rachel and you know, what can you do? So Rachel decides that she is going to call Sam because she has a date scheduled with Oliver for that evening. And we can't hear Sam talking on this phone call because obviously she didn't give consent to be on the cameras. But you know, I I have to say y'all know that I have come to like Brock a lot more, and he's really grown on me, but he does crack me up. I think it was Tessa, my friend Tessa, who's been on here plenty of times, who said that he looks like Gaston, and oh my god, he does. Now Gaston, great looking man, okay? And that is from Beauty and the Beast. And so anyway, that's where where and when Rachel goes ahead and calls Sam. And at first I was really confused by the conversation. I thought she was leaving her a voicemail, which would have been kind of weird. And she's like basically saying, it's really fucked up that she was put into this position by Oliver and she's really pissed about it and that she's going to confront him out on their quote unquote date that night, which I would have canceled the date, but I think it's just because they're filming. Trust me, I don't really want to defend Rachel here. And basically that he was supposedly telling his wife they were going to work on things and Rachel is saying in confessional that this seems manipulative and selfish on his part. And then, yeah, she tells Sam on the phone again that she hates being in this position because I had no clue. And we cut back to Lala's apartment. And, she's saying, like, I totally get that. That's that gut feeling that she got from looking at a photo that wasn't necessarily telling, the one that we all saw a while ago of Randall walking across the street with two women. I think it was in Miami. So she was like, I totally feel for Sam. I know exactly how she's feeling. And then eventually it was like, oh, you know, her and Christina saying, like, you know what they call someone who goes ahead and screws around with someone who's still married? They call that a mistress. Yeah, Lala, you got that one in. Um, Interesting when we cut back to Rachel's apartment and Sheena's like, well, now you're going to get dragged on social media. Now you're going to be the other woman. I mean, and then she says, once you're labeled a mistress, it never goes away. You guys, shit. Shit. And we go to to Lala's birthday, and Katie's there with her new man. And I know a lot of people have said Kenny G vibes. I said Weird Al vibes. Here's the thing, it's the hair. He's not a bad looking man. I think it doesn't even have to be that he has to cut it super short. It needs to be shorter. Satchel, your hair, we need to do something about the hair. Okay. Um, because Sheena, geez, this was intense of Sheena. She was like saying he looked like he just got groomed at Vanderpump Dogs. Like, all right, thanks. And then we get him cut to Schwartz getting in a bathtub. Like, all right, cool. So then we're at the date with Oliver. I'm going to tell you right now, this scene made me very unhappy. And you want to know why? Because aside from many things, the immense hypocrisy that is dripping from Rachel in this scene and how she used a black man on a show that is already, quite frankly, not even remotely diverse in hardly any capacity on a network that doesn't have a ton of diversity. This was not okay. And she really used that to her advantage. So she goes and meets with him, and he had a reservation, which, hey, that's nice, all of that. They sit down and he brings up everything to her immediately, which I did appreciate, right? She tells him basically, I do owe it to you to hear you out a little bit, but, I spoke with Sam and was told that you cheated on her multiple times with multiple women. And he basically just reiterates, like, yes, they are getting a divorce. And he has had his own apartment separate from her for 8 months. And then she says, well, did you stay with her the night that we made out? And he says, no, I stayed at my own home. And then she asks him, "Ugh," because apparently she says Sam told her that they had sex that night. At, and she says, well, did you have sex with her after that? And he's like, not that night, but a few nights after, probably. And she's like, don't you think that's confusing for her? Okay, yeah. But not that I'm excusing Oliver's behavior, but he's listening, he's accepting, he's admitting. He's like, yes, it's wrong. And he completely apologizes to Rachel. And here we go. Rachel says this. I appreciate your apology, but it doesn't make up for the bashing that getting on social media saying I'm seeing this guy who's actually married. It's not presented that way to me, so it's not fair. Oh, okay. Because, all right. Yeah, okay. So she's making herself the ultimate victim. It's sickening. It is grotesque. Because then, oh, this, my friends, just the fact that she then says this, that she is furious with Oliver for making her look a certain way, which is not representative of who I am at all. He's very openly a cheater and hasn't done anything to hide it or keep his wife from finding out, which makes me think like he wants her to feel bad. What? So wait a minute. It would have been okay if he were trying to hide it? Is that what you're saying, Rachel? It would have been more acceptable if he had been like, "Well, I'm gonna at least try and hide this from my wife." That would have been okay. Okay. Wow. Um, and they both were on the same page that they'd never had a date like this and they didn't expect it to go like this and that they would have had a great time and she says to him, "We would have had a great time if you had like divorced your wife." And she just leaves him looking like feeling like he's a terrible person and he clearly feels bad. And again, I'm not excusing the behavior he had with his wife, but knowing what Rachel was actually motherfucking doing to play him like this on camera and make herself a victim is so incredibly vile. I just, wow. Wow. So we go back to Lala's party. Just all the stuff. And Sheena meets Rachel outside because Rachel decides to just show up even though she was not invited. And she says, that she wants to talk to Lala. And Lala's inside showing everyone like how Rachel was calling her a mistress, but shows everyone her phone being like, showing the whole thing about what's on the internet about her and Oliver and all of that. And she's like, I bet your mom's real proud of you, bitch. Oh my God. And so Sheena, brings Rachel in to Lala's birthday. And Lala immediately is like, "What's up, mistress? What's up, mistress?" And she's basically just like super excited to have her there to go in on her. And Rachel asks Lala if they can talk outside. Great. And then there's this, guys. So Katie is enjoying this basically. She says to Sandoval, "It's just funny to me. It's just so funny to me." And Sandoval goes, "Okay." And Katie goes, "Raquel, you're a dumb bitch, and she should not have shown up here tonight on Lala's birthday." And Sandoval says, "You seem like you get a lot of joy out of that." And Katie says to him, "I don't get a lot of joy out of it, but like it's just funny to me." And Sandoval says in confessional, basically about how Katie has been proactively a vindictive person over the years and that he thinks she's just savoring this like the best piece of Wagyu steak you've ever had. Okay, bro. So then Katie says this. "Mhm. You get a lot of joy out of Raquel as well, I think." Tom says, "Yeah, cool person." Katie says, "You go to the Abbey together at 1 o'clock in the morning." And Tom goes, "Dude, what even the fuck are you saying, dude? Get the fuck out of here, man." And Katie just, well, y'all, she just sips on her cocktail and looks at him with side eyes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That side eye told us everything. I just, woo! She fucking knows you. Ooh, Tom Sandoval, your number was already up. Katie is fucking on to you. Mm, imbecile. Once again, this is why you don't like when women are smarter than you because they are smarter than you and they can figure you out so fast. So outside, it's Rachel and Lala. Oh, all of this, you guys. It's just Rachel's like, I'm sorry for crashing your party and happy birthday, by the way, Lala. And Lala goes, "You gave me the best gift," which obviously we all know means she's saying the best gift was Rachel fucking up royally and the whole Oliver and Mistress thing, and that she's showing up to give her the opportunity to, well, pop off on her. She's giving Lala the dopamine hit of getting to fly off the handle on her. And Rachel actually apologizes to her about calling her a mistress specifically. And Lala says at the same time that she's like, "Because today," and Lala goes, "Because you are one." And Rachel says, "I had no idea he was still married." And Lala is telling her that, when they were at Havasu, and instead of saying to Lala that she's just upset Oliver didn't choose her, that instead of saying that, she should have been asking questions like, "How long have you been separated?" And, "What's the deal there?" Which, I'm sorry, by the way, Lala, you didn't ask those questions of Oliver when you were into him and having a moment that you could have asked him those questions either. So, just by the way, you didn't do that either. And she says that Lala says, "That's the stuff I asked Randall and that he lied about." So then Rachel says to Lala after she tells her that, "I'm coming to you to apologize because I didn't realize how easily a man can mislead you into thinking it is one way and having it like it's completely," and she short circuits. It's and you see Lala looking at her like, "Put the sentence together. Put the bunny through the hole, tie the loop. D- Come on." She goes, "The opposite, the opposite." So then Lala says, "And now you know." And she says, "And now you know, but he's going to come off squeaky clean, and the woman always takes the brunt of it." Rachel says, "I already am." And Lala says, "I know these dudes get away with murder, so let this be a learning experience for both of us. I don't want beef with you. It's not fun for me." Lala, you had just said that this was the greatest gift ever, and you were so thrilled to go outside and pop off on her, but okay. "It's not fun for me. I've been the home-wrecking whore. I've been the mistress. I've been all those things, but you know what? We rise above and we know what the truth is." And Rachel says, "We know our worth. We were misled in the situation. LO fucking L. Ha. Hmm. Uh-huh. I see that now for you, and I didn't before." And in confessional, Rachel's like, "Being single for the first time in my adult life has allowed me time to reflect on who I am as a person. And I limited myself to holding my own self worth and others' opinions of me. And I'm trying to break free of that." Oh, and when Lala says this to Rachel, "Do I think you're a mistress? No. You, my love, are not a mistress. Don't let anybody tell you that you are." And she hugs her. Oh my God. Oh, y'all, it's like I have chills. Really? You know Lala's so fucking pissed. You know it. You know she is. Um, and then we see the preview for next week. Sheena pulls Sandoval aside at the beach when they all go for a beach day, and she says that Katie is saying that Raquel is now going after Sandoval. Uh-huh. And the look on his face as she's saying that is like, "Dude, what? What? Can't believe that." And she then apparently it's Allie telling James this, that Katie told her, there's something about them not having a lot of rules, and this is when the open relationship rumors are starting. And eventually we see what's coming next week where James throws a drink in Tom Schwartz's face over what sounds like what some sort of bad joke. Y'all, I mean, Schwartz has done it plenty of times. It's turnabout's fair play. I don't know if this was a moment he deserved. I mean, you shouldn't be violent with anyone, especially over like a bad joke, whatever. Um, but it makes it very clear and very much more apparent that it absolutely was James and Schwartz who almost came to blows at the reunion to the point where security had to separate them. So that made it pretty damn obvious to me. Um, so yeah, that's the end of this episode. Again, be sure and keep an eye out. I'm going to be bringing Terrence from Bravo Chronicles, and we're going to be doing Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Leave me a nice review. I'll try and do another YouTube live soon. It takes a lot of planning to get here for me. And also, I don't know, subscribe, do all of it. I have different content on Instagram than I do on TikTok, so you're not going to be getting the exact same stuff if you go and follow me on both. Just FYI. I wish I could recycle my content that easily, but I don't. So you actually get more content by following both of the at Besties by Bravo accounts there. And yeah, aside from that, thanks friends for joining. Thanks to those of you that did join the YouTube live. I appreciate you so much. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Oh, and one more thing. Again, bestiesbybravo.com. Put in the code besties20, besties20. You will get 20% off of the merch. Okay? And it's merch I designed myself. Put a lot of effort into it. All right. Anyway, all right. Love you, friends. Bye.